that we are live and working. So this is the simulcast, the stream. We're about to join the Kelly Cutrara show on AM640 Toronto. Buckle up. We're about to go for a ride on the radio. If you're tuning in, you don't know who I am. My name is Sean Shapiro, police constable with the Toronto Police Service, and I talk about traffic safety, traffic law, and police stuff every day. I do it online, sometimes on the radio. So here we go. Soon, anyway. Feel free to ask questions, throw them into the chat, regardless of the platform, except Twitter. Twitter doesn't work. So if you go to youtube.trafficcop.ca, it'll bring you to the traffic services channel on YouTube, where you can jump into the live and ask questions. Should put theme music on. What do you think?
Hi, Sean. How are you?
Doing well. How about yourself?
I'm doing all right, thanks. Just want to let you know we got about 3 minutes here before we're up.
Cool. If you can throw a text into the private chat when we have 30 seconds, I'll stop yapping to the people watching, and I will wait for you.
Awesome. We got some text coming in too, so Kelly's going to do those questions for you.
Awesome.
And yeah, I don't have much. Hope you're doing well.
No complaints here.
Hey, Sean.
Yes.
It's Carlos from Dave's Corner Garage. How are you?
How you doing, brother?
Good, man. I'm over here at Chorus now during the week.
Excellent.
So I'll still hopefully be seeing you on the weekends.
Yes, whenever I'm down in the studio, for sure. Good to hear you.
You too.
Because I can't see you because there's no camera. It's so weird. But I guess that's the magic of radio.
Yes, it is.
Awesome.
All right, I'll give you a 30 heads up.
Thank you. Appreciate it. We've got Hawaii. I think it's Hawaii who's in the chat on TikTok. And greetings and salutations. Long time no see from Akila Draconis. And Big Jeff Fresh is acknowledging the round 2 of live streams. Yeah, it's a different deal today. A completely isolated live stream for Ask a Traffic Cop Part 1, and then the Part 2 with Kelly Cutrara. But it's cool. It's nice to bop around the radio, traveling all over Southern Ontario, because I think Kelly's everywhere. This is I think a syndicated show. Hawaii, thanks for sharing the live. If you're watching, you don't know who I am. My name is Sean Shapiro. I'm a police officer with the Toronto Police Service here in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. And I talk about traffic safety, traffic law, that sort of stuff, police stuff in general. And when I join Kelly, we talk about whatever's going on in her world. There's topics that she always brings up, so it's always interesting. And then we have callers and texters who come in with questions. So we'll address all of those things. And we'll be doing that in just a couple minutes, because they're on a commercial break. When we come back, we'll have a little intro. Then we'll do, that's noisy paper. And then we'll do what we do and see where it goes, and maybe spend a few minutes afterwards. But I do have an appointment right after this live stream and radio stream business is done. Yeah, it's exciting stuff on a Thursday. Friday Junior, as I like to call it. And of course, tomorrow's Friday, 10 o'clock, will be on for Ask a Traffic Cop on all of our regular channels, being on the internet, YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, that stuff. Brazil, hello from Brazil. Hello there. How you doing? Let's see here. Ahmed Handa says, I have tickets in Toronto, 1 unnecessary noise and the second for tint. Plate, does it affect insurance? Any ticket affects insurance, absolutely. They don't want to, basically they're considered minors if they're not driving specific. And so your insurance company may not choose to reevaluate your insurance, but technically any offense, any charge suggests that you're not following the rules, and they determine risk. 30 seconds. Okay. We'll come back to your questions in just a little bit. Now we wait patiently. 30 seconds. Sometimes I have too much fun, even if the jokes are only for me.
You're listening to the Kelly Cutrara Show, and that music means Constable Sean Shapiro, our TikTok traffic cop, joins the show once again for a couple of segments here. If you have any questions for Sean, feel free to text at 416-870-6400. You can also call at 1-888-225-TALK or 416-870-6400. Sean, thanks for being here. Always love it.
It's always a pleasure. Happy to be here.
All right. Well, you sound a little bit. What's going on? Are you okay? You sound lackluster.
No,
today.
I'm excited to be here. No. I don't want to overpower anybody.
Oh, well, listen, you're not going to overpower me. I'm a
Okay.
bit of a mouthpiece, if you haven't already noticed that. I have a text off the hop here, Sean, from someone named Mike who wants you to know, please tell Sean in brackets, Alan Cross, it's illegal to impersonate a police officer. We know it's him. Confirm or deny, have you and Alan Cross ever been in the same room together?
I have heard from many people that I sound similar to him. I have never met him. I've only Googled to listen. And I don't know if I agree that I sound. You'd
No.
be a better judge of that than I.
Yeah, you do not. Alan is my friend, and now you're a friend of the show, so I would consider you as a friend as well. I feel like your voice is a lower tone and maybe a little bit more, has a little more gravel to it.
Okay. I hope that's
Yeah.
a good thing, but I will have to listen to Alan's voice again so I can once again review this suggestion.
It's not a bad thing, Sean. But it's nice to be compared to one of the best broadcasters, in my opinion, in North America.
I'll take that as a badge of honor.
All right. Let's get to some topics related to what you do, and that is you're a highway traffic cop. CAA survey reveals over half of Ontario drivers say that this is a big problem. We've talked about it numerous times. It's speeding, Sean. They said that the number has crept up 3% compared to last year. The study also found that 81% of Ontario drivers have witnessed other people speeding, but only 38% admit to doing it themselves. Where's the disconnect here?
Well, I think that the number of people who speed is far higher than what's being reflected in that article because almost every vehicle I see on the road is doing something above the speed limit. I know this because I do the speed limit and everybody is passing me, whether they're passing slowly or quickly. That is the only difference. But I am generally the slowest car on the road and I'm doing the limit. And that's a problem. I appreciate that some people have places to go and people to see, but the increase in speed increases your odds of becoming involved in a collision, but doesn't dramatically impact your arrival time.
But for a while, we've heard, I understand that speeding on city streets, to me, that seems more dangerous. But when I'm not talking about excessive speed, I'm talking 15, 20 over. But when we talk about our highways, our 400 series highway, are we looking at maybe upping the speed limit to 120? Because most people do that anyways. Or is that a fear that if we lift it to 120, people are going to do 140?
Well, I certainly think that that's what will be the case because we see people doing 140 and 160 and 200 on a regular basis. Obviously, the 200s are outliers, but as we increase speeds, we see more speeders. And in the areas that are 110 kilometer an hour zones now, where it's been determined to be safe, people are not doing 110; they're doing 130. So I've seen studies that suggest that people will not, go beyond that speed, but I don't think those are accurate because, well, I'm seeing it with my own eyes.
After the main concern of speeding, according to this survey just released by CAA, other common dangerous driving behaviors that people admit to they admit to doing or they've seen around them: aggressive driving, unsafe lane changes, distracted driving, running stop signs and red lights. I absolutely hate. I mean, aggressive drivers, that's, a no-brainer. They drive me crazy. But it's the unsafe lane changes that are also equally frustrating. It's called a signal. It's an indicator light. Use it. It's not too hard. And, every once in a while, people will surprise you. They'll let you in.
If your viewers go to tiktok.trafficcop.ca, you can see the latest video that I put up on our channel. And that is a video of someone tailgating, then proceeding to make an unsafe passing maneuver to the right, and then proceed to cut off the vehicle they just passed and proceed to basically thread the needle between two 18-wheelers. Something that would actually qualify for criminal charges for unsafe driving or for dangerous driving. And they signaled, and that was one of the funniest things, that just because you signal while doing something dangerous doesn't make it okay. But signaling is a problem. People are just giving up on the basic courtesies of driving, and I think we need to come back to some basic, learn the rules of the road and follow them.
I also feel like frustration levels and aggressive driving would drop significantly if people just give a wave. Just give a wave if somebody lets you in. It takes 2 seconds, and I find, even if somebody like squeaks in and I'm like not anticipating, I can I'll feel my, temperature start to rise. And then if they give me a little wave, I go, yeah, no problem, brother.
Absolutely. Uh, absolutely. Courtesy goes a long way. I open my window, I wave out the window to say thank you. It is such an easy gesture to change an opinion or make someone's day brighter. But I'll tell you, when we fight to prevent someone from getting in front of you, we
Mhm.
mess up traffic for blocks. It is such an easy thing to do to allow someone to change lanes, and you're not going to lose the race. There's no race. Let someone in, wave them in, give them that courtesy. It goes a long way. But I'll tell you what also happens if you choose not to, if you decide to ignore that person who's trying to get in, one of the same
Yeah.
places you are, and that can escalate into a road rage incident and change the course of everybody's day.
Do you find that people drive differently around you when you're in a cruiser versus your personal car? And how does it change?
Absolutely. If I'm driving the speed limit, no one wants to pass me, and I appreciate that because they're not legally allowed to. But
Right. Wait a
definitely,
minute. You're not legally allowed to pass a cop?
you're not legally
Oh,
allowed to
well,
go
if you're
above the speed
speeding.
limit. So if I'm traveling at the
All
speed limit,
right.
yeah, they can't pass me, but not legally. But some people do. They're not paying
Mhm.
attention. The deal is that, yeah, we are at our best behavior when we see police officers, and rightfully so. If you go to Israel, they drive around with their lights on all the time. The emergency is when they turn on the siren. Uh, they want to be seen. They want to be more visible, and people do change their behavior temporarily. It's like radar detectors and ways telling people where the police are. People adjust temporarily to avoid being caught. That's not the right motivation. It should be because it's safe.
Okay, I want to talk about something that we were discussing yesterday on the show, and it's the fact that according to the stats here, that they are starting to throw out cases of dangerous driving because of the backlog in courts, and that is very problematic. And the person that we had talking about it, the legal expert yesterday, said, it's almost like cops are reticent now to put that charge of dangerous driving down to lay it because, in fact, they know it might not make it through the courts. And it really isn't, a lesson is not being taught. So, one of the things that is going through, I believe, the legislature is this act where if you are caught dangerous in a dangerous driving situation, a probation order would require a convicted driver where there's substantial damage to someone's person, to take a driving instruction course and perform a driving safety related community service before getting their license back. Do you think that's going to be the way to teach people a lesson and actually get the message across that you just can't do this anymore? It's very serious, dangerous driving.
Well, we say that locks keep honest people out of houses. Laws control people who are willing to follow them. If we made murder illegal, oh, wait, murder is illegal. It still happens. So, dangerous driving is a criminal charge. Stunt driving is under the Highway Traffic Act. All of them have consequences. But very often, and the issue is that some of them never make it to trial, or some of them are basically withdrawn, or through the joys of lawyering, aren't seeing convictions. So what we're seeing is things that happen before conviction, like roadside penalties for things like stunt driving, where you get a 30-day suspension and a 14-day impound. Those are ways of making sure that people see the impact of their actions immediately, and then have further actions when courts finally get to it, if they get to it. So, what's the answer? Obviously, more serious consequences, and making sure that those are felt by the people who are acting in a way that puts other people's lives at risk. That could only be beneficial from my end. We need to be able to send a message and change driver behavior to
All
keep
right.
everyone safe.
Yeah, Sean, what I'm going to do is we're going to take a quick break. We're going to get some calls lined up at 416-870-6400, 1-888-225-TALK. We'll also come back with some text and open up the phone line so they can have a conversation with you directly, the TikTok traffic cop. We'll do that next, Sean.
Sounds good. Okay, I was just muted for a second because the computer that plays my voice on the radio is also a computer that was going to play a pre-recorded clip for the listeners on the air. So I can now unmute because they have done what they needed to do. So thanks for that, and thanks for waiting for some silence. What do we got going on here? Yes, we're very technical. Switch on, switch off. We've done some amazing things. I don't know if you guys know what the studio looks like for those who are watching from home. But I'm looking at two cameras, usually a telephone. I didn't even plug in the Instagram today, and there's a lot going on here. So to then link in with radio, it's pretty awesome to be able to do it all. But it's some duct tape and yarn and everything under the sun to make it all work. And we're always developing, changing, trying to accommodate new technology to make it better. Yeah, we're doing cool stuff. Let's see here. Crash says you have a very calm voice, unless I'm not calm. No, I thank you. I appreciate it. Okay. I got a text message. That's exciting. Let's see. Can police pull you over for 1 kilometer over the limit if they really want to, but leave? Yes, they could. So speeding occurs at any speed over the posted limit. The legal limit is the legal limit, not the minimum or the starting point. So if you do one over, technically, yes, we could pull you over. Would we? Very unlikely. Very unlikely. There's going to be a threshold in which we will not waste everybody's time. Okay. So this is, hey, I'm showing you what I'm looking at. This is my view. So screens and cameras and yeah, there's a lot going on. I got computers here. I got computers everywhere. There's a lot going on. I don't know what this request for a tour is. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, scrolling back. Feel free to ask questions. We may have an opportunity to share it on the radio. If there's any questions that look really awesome when we're not on the radio, I'll stick around for a couple minutes and try and answer them. Oh, so Chase says a voiceover cop fan studio tour. So is that like a video that I post, or is that like everyone wants to line up and walk through the studio? One might be easier than the other. Oh, the Grinch is celebrating the 21-year anniversary today. Almost forgot. Oh, I'm glad you didn't forget. And I'm glad that you can say, oh, we're going back to radio.
You're listening to the Kelly Cutrara Show, and this is the portion of the program where our friend, Constable Sean Shapiro, the TikTok traffic cop, answers some of your questions, whether it be a text question at 416-870-6400 or a calls question, 1-888-225-TALK and 416-870-6400. Here's Marcus first in Hamilton. Welcome to the show.
Good afternoon, guys. How are you?
Good.
Fantastic. Thanks for being here, Marcus. What's your question for Sean?
Well, my question, Sean, is as a truck driver, vehicles' respect for us on the road is, I would say, at an all-time low. And we're trying to do everything to keep them alive. But I tell you, on a daily basis, the bad moves that I see cars make and put themselves in horrible situations of honestly near death. There needs to be more training done with. Do you think there should be more training done with people at the driving school level to respect trucks?
I'd love to see mandatory training for all drivers, but there's definitely room for improvement because I see it all the time. It's terrible. There's a great infographic if you go to TIRF, TIRF, that's the Traffic Injury Research Foundation.ca, TIRF.ca, and they have a great infographic trying to explain just how much or what the reduced visibility is for trucks, the areas, the no-go zones, and drivers just don't understand it. They get way too close to big vehicles, and they don't realize that they're invisible to them.
The other thing they do too is every time we put on our signal to change lanes, oh, that gap that I have, no, we're gonna speed up and take over. Eventually, we just push. It happens every day, and I'll look in my mirror, I'll watch the car dive in the front because I come over to them, and then they're like, oh, you didn't see me, I saw you, you just took away my space.
Can I ask
And-
you something, Marcus? I know that this is usually Sean answering the questions, but you know how you say that you've got a little bit of room, you put on your signal, you're going to go into that lane, and the car that's kind of right behind you, that where there's a big gap between them and the car in front of you, where you could get into the lane, speeds up. Where do you stop seeing them? Because I know you can only see so much of the side of your mirror. Give us, in our listeners' perspective.
It depends on the type of truck and trailer that you are driving. However, it's somewhere. If you get up anywhere close to the driver's door, right behind the driver's door, it's hard to see you. On the passenger side, anywhere kind of past the mirror on the passenger side, anywhere in that front area, we have people cut in front of us that literally all of a sudden you see a car just show up in front of your truck, and you jam on the brakes. I don't want to kill anybody, but I'll be honest, I'm not going to kill myself.
Yeah.
To stop you from being. Something will weed out the stupid. I'm sure of it. In the States, in Tennessee, actually, they actually have several tractors outfitted, and I believe it's Tennessee State Troopers, as actual police vehicles. They got blue and reds on the roof, and they'll actually pull over cars. They'll pull over commercial vehicles too, because it gives you guys as well as we have a completely different prospect. I watch people on their phones all day long, not paying attention.
I would love to get into a cab of a truck one day.
Oh, come do the show from my truck. We'll.
I would consider it, Marcus. I think it would be really informative and kind of interesting. Maybe we should talk about that. All right, well, I'm going to let you go, but thank you very much, Marcus, for bringing it up. I want to blow through a couple of text messages here for you, Sean, if we could.
Just before you do that, I wanted to bring up just to say that, do you remember a while back there was a car that was pushed up onto the Gardner upper deck, the FGX? That car cut off that dump truck. They didn't even know that the car was attached to the front of the vehicle as he drove for a kilometer or two. They're invisible at that size. But sorry, to interrupt you.
Oh, no. I just want to make sure we get to some of these because we've got about 4 minutes left. Is it illegal to flash your lights to warn another driver of a police ahead?
It's not a good thing. It's not necessarily illegal to communicate. It is technically blinding drivers that are in oncoming traffic. It's improper use of your high beams. But the real problem is you're telling people to change your behavior temporarily to avoid a ticket, and then presumably they'll continue doing what they were doing before.
That's where you and I look at it differently, and I get it. I just think, okay, well, anything to slow people down, and it will slow people down for a little bit of time. I've noticed an increasing number of cars, SUVs on the road with different color headlights. Says someone's blue, red, yellow. Are these legal?
Totally illegal. You can only project white or yellow light to the front. Anything else is improper, and you can get a $110 fine for it.
Okay, this one's weird because I'm not sure if I can make sense of it, but it might be my little pea brain here. We can make a right-hand turn on a red light if you are on a westbound one-way street and want to go south on a one-way street. Can you turn left on a red light?
If you want to make a left on a red light, you must be on a one-way street and going onto another one-way street. And only then can you make a left on a red light, presuming there's no sign prohibiting it, and of course, if it's safe to do so.
We're bombing through these. I love that. Question about country driving. Is it illegal to cross a single solid yellow line as opposed to a double line? Saw something that said it is legal. Mo from Toronto.
It is legal in the province of Ontario, but pretty much everywhere else it's illegal to cross a line. Those lines are there as a guidance, but what happens once you cross it, even though it's not illegal to cross the line, you're responsible for everything that happens next. Those lines, when they're solid, suggest it's not a good idea, it's unsafe, not enough visibility, or various other reasons. But at the end of the day, if you choose to ignore those lines and you crash, well, it's on you.
Okay. I see a lot of cars. These are texts I'm reading, by the way, with very darkly tinted glass, which you can't see through. Why do I never see police ticketing them?
Well, we oddly enough, you don't see what we're doing all the time because if you don't see the officer, they're not there.
Sure.
We do ticket them on a regular basis. If they're so dark that we cannot see anything inside the vehicle, it's obscuring the interior of the motor vehicle. It's an HTA offense for that. Even if it's lightly tinted, it may be obscuring the interior. That's against the law. You can't have anything on your windshield. But if it's so dark that it's unsafe, that can have your license plate seized, and you're going to have to get a safety done. A mechanic actually has to use a meter and make sure there's no more than 30% of the light being blocked by the tint. Also, no
What's the fine?
tints permitted. Pardon me. Fine for the basic one is $110. That's just for obscuring the interior. When it comes to unsafe motor vehicle, it's much more serious, and it can be much higher. But the biggest thing is you're not driving away. We're taking your license plates. You're getting towed, and then you have to go get certified and reapply for license plates once your vehicle is safe.
Okay. Somebody else says I see a lot of drivers with obscured license plates. Are the police not ticketing them?
We absolutely are. It's not our priority. Our focus is always going to be on the big four: speeding, distracted driving, impaired driving, and aggressive driving. But we do deal with tinted license plates, and you're going to see a lot more of that because tinted blocked, anything around them is illegal. It's a $110 fine. And one of the big reasons you're going to see a lot more of it now is we have automatic license plate readers that have been
Right.
approved for the city, and they can't see them because of these.
We talked about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so I have like 20 seconds. Is it legal to have a closed bottle of booze in your cup holder in the front console of your car? I don't know why somebody's asking, but they are.
If it's factory sealed, yes. If you've cracked the seal, no. It has to be away from the driver. And it's a similar thing for marijuana. If it's factory sealed envelope, it can be anywhere in the vehicle. If it's been broken and no longer factory sealed, you cannot have it near the driver.
Sean, you're a superstar. Thank you very much for being here.
Always a pleasure.
Talk to you in two Thursdays? Two Thursdays.
Sounds good.
All right, cheers. All right, that's Sean Shapiro, the TikTok traffic cop.
And they are gone for another couple weeks, and we'll be back to do it again. Let me change the moniker here because Kelly's no longer here, so I should take them off the screen. Now, technically, this is not Ask a Traffic Cop because it's not our regular thing. I'm just giving a thumbs up to David, who says, "Thanks, Sean. You're most welcome, and see you later, Carlos." And they hung up. They hung up. They're gone. Okay. I just want to see what we got here waiting as messages. See what we got. What do we got? Ryan says it's not a training problem. It's a lack of respect and lack of courtesy. And Ryan, I agree with you 100%. I think it's a culmination of both. I think we have a problem where we live in a society that is very me, very selfish. And I think training would also help. Maybe training to explain really what's at risk, kind of the things I try and convey when I go on do these daily lives, and then in addition to it, maybe people would have respect if they understood what was at risk. But we're so busy not trying to hurt anybody's feelings that maybe we don't show them the gruesome bodies and pictures that I've seen in person of dead people. I used to photograph scenes. I saw the mangled bodies, and I saw the impact it had on the community, and the families, and the crying and the tears, and the death is serious, but we're so climatized to it because of movies. We think it's not real, but it's very real, and it's like nothing you've ever experienced. Not the death part, but the impact. Because obviously, if you're listening to this, you probably haven't died. Yeah. So I think it's a complex problem that we're not going to see the end of anytime soon. But it is definitely something that I strive for and hope for because I want everyone to be safe. I want everyone to get to where they're going every single day. Yeah. If you missed this morning's Ask a Traffic Cop live, know that you can now get it by way of podcast. If you go to askatrafficcop.trafficcop.ca. Ask a Traffic. Yeah, that's what it is. It's very long because I did a thing. Maybe I need to make that a little less big. Maybe it should be Anyway, I'm going to create an acronym that's a lot smaller because as I say it, it's too long. But that will take you right to the webpage for the podcast, and you can listen to it on a whole bunch of different platforms. What is this? Oh, Akela says that, what does Akela say? Oh, okay. I hope to have some dash cam on the rural roads while away. Highway 10 will be an eye-opener if my, last trip of, yes. Okay. I need to watch. You need to send me the links to your page. I have not seen your page yet. I need to see it. AATC. Do you think that's or it just, so Akela says AATC.trafficcop.ca. That's much shorter. But maybe just ATC. Maybe A. I don't know. We figure it out. Okay. And Chase wants to know where. Oh, okay. I've got to go. Apparently, my meeting that was at 1:30 is not at 1:30; is at 1. So I've got to unfortunately say goodbye to you. I wish I could spend more time to go through your questions, and I appreciate all of you on TikTok that jumped in here to watch the live stream and of us being on the radio. But I must go right now, and I say that just before I want to acknowledge. What's the fine for having a loud muffler? It could be $110, and it can affect your insurance. What is this? As I say goodbye, then I see a really good question. So Justin says, my girlfriend was turning right onto a street with low visibility. She stopped behind the line, then slowly proceeded to make sure it was clear. When slowly proceeding, an e-bike came full speed from the passenger side and hit the car. Yeah. I don't know what the ask is on there, but that can happen. Hopefully, this means that they were in the crosswalk and they weren't doing what they were supposed to be doing. So, was it investigated? What happened? You'll have to email me. If you go to trafficcop.ca, you can go into the submission form and tell me what it is. We can talk about it tomorrow. I'll be back tomorrow at 10 a.m. to do Ask a Traffic Cop for an hour at least, but I do have to go now. So thanks for hanging out for a little bit, and we'll be back tomorrow. Have a great day. Stay safe, stay sober. We're driving, and don't park illegally, because that's a thing. Take care.